everyone, and welcome back to APM Help Academy. In today's video, we are going to continue our maintenance journey, starting with unit turns. In our last video, we looked at work orders, recurring work orders, and inspections. And today, again, we'll kick it off with unit turns. Unit turns are unique in the sense that they will be posted the second that a move out is started on a unit. So in our previous videos, we moved out a couple tenants from the Shire Outlook. And then after we hit finish move out, created a unit turn for us. Unit turns are unique in the sense that you can go through your move out checklist of the different key categories that typically require the most attention once the tenant moves out. And it gives you an easy to use hub to create work orders per specific requests. In the unit turn, it gives you a brief overview of the details. It gives you the unit, the move out date, the unit availability date, and your target turnaround date. When you click edit, you'll see that you will only be able to edit the unit availability date, the reference, and the notes. The other items are contingent upon the actual work orders that are created. So when you've updated your unit availability date, any references and notes, you can hit save and move on to the next section. The next sections, as you can see, you can select whether or not the work has been completed. You can mark it as done, or if there is a need upon move out for paint, appliances, floor carpets, other miscellaneous, other maintenance and repairs, housekeeping, and keys and locks replacement, you'll be able to click this task here, create work order, and then like our previous video, then create a service request to then bill back to the property. When you create a work order for the unit turn, then we'll follow the same process. You'll have your maintenance tech go into the unit, do the repairs, send you an invoice. You'll upload the invoice, create a bill for it, and pay it out. Once all those steps have been completed, you then will be able, on the unit turn page here, go through your checklists and mark them as done. Once everything is marked as done, you'll then be completed with the unit turn, and you can click mark as completed. The next section on our maintenance journey is projects. Projects are useful when wanting to track property-related big expenses for construction, HVAC, other maintenance that doesn't fall more in line with the general routine maintenance. It also serves as a good starting point to allow you to use one expense GL account while tracking still individually how much is being spent on painting, roofing, flooring, and other miscellaneous cost categories. In order to create a project, you'll simply find this button here that says Add Project. It will create a project name, the property that's in question, and the start date of the project, as well as the projected end date of the project. You can then hit save. And now your project will be created. Here in the project, you can also make a budget to allocate to specific expenses. You can then check and track your costs, and if in the event you go over, you'll be able to make revisions to your project. Here you can also keep track of the status of the project, and again compare your actuals budgets versus the actuals of the cost of the maintenance, the supplies, and labor. Another important section is cost categories. This is important if you want it in the event to have the same expense GL account, but still track the subcategories. This is now attainable with the project's cost categories. As you see here in our example, we have flooring and roofing, but they're both assigned to this specific GL account, $76,250 for building supplies. In the project, when you have cost categories, what you can do is instead of selecting project basis by GL accounts, you can select it to be by specific cost categories. In the event that you also select a multi-unit family, you can also assign a project to be a specific unit. When we hit save with our cost categories, what we see is now, unlike our first one for the Shire, we see now that we have a budget per cost category. Once everything's been invoiced and received and the project is completed, just like our unit turn, there'll be a task on the right-hand side where you can say mark project as completed. The next section on our maintenance journey is purchase orders. Purchase orders are useful when you need to either purchase more fixed assets or inventory and keep an easy trackable record of when the requests have been sent and when they have been received. In order to create a purchase order, you'll click the task on the right-hand side, New Purchase Order. Once on the new purchase order screen, you can select the specific vendor that this purchase order is going to be related to. You can assign it to a specific project if there's one in progress for the purchase. You can also assign it to a work order if there is already one. Select the ship address, add vendor instructions, the invoice number. This will be from the vendor, and when it's required by. Next section of the purchase order is the item details, to which you can add a description, what property it's for, what unit if it's a multi-family, and then what GL account this purchase order falls under. Once all the information has been entered, you can then hit save. Now, what you can do from here, once our purchase order is created, you can update this purchase order with the following tasks. Once you've sent out the order, you can say mark it as ordered. Once it's been received, you can mark it as fully received. And once you've noted that all things have been paid for and attached, you can then click mark as completed. You can also at any point, if for whatever reason the purchase order is no longer needed, you can cancel the purchase order. Like properties and all other systems in AppFolio, you can also track the emails involved with the purchase order, add notes, see an audit log, and have a section for attachments if applicable. This has been part 2 of All Things Maintenance. Stay tuned for part 3 where we look at inventory and fixed assets. If you like the content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any more questions, reach out to us at info@apmhelp.com.